Uh, my name is Abhilasha Saharan. I have done my master's in applied psychology from University of Delhi, and post that I started working with the national team, women's hockey, and then that after that I worked with the shotgun shooting team as a sports psychologist.
All right, Abhilasha. So, right now, people that whatever version that you're seeing of Abhilasha is a very toned down version. The version that I've seen a while back, or I'd rather say maybe around 2017, 2015, was a very different version. That version was a like panga matle hockey padega kind of a version. So you see a very toned down version right now. Okay,
Yeah,
Abhilasha.
back then I was not. My age was different. I was just in college and I was still into that athlete mode. Was
Yeah.
not into the working phase, and also that is quite different from what you're seeing now after so long.
So, could you please tell us what all roles did you take up as sports psychologist?
Okay, the mostly those who are working as a sports psychologist, they also work almost into the similar way, which most other psychologists also do, like sitting in a room, having their counseling and assessments with the athletes and all. But if I have to specify something which is different from the normal psychologist, which you can say that can define you as a sports psychologist, is that you work either in a team setting or in an individual setting. You work in both the setting as a team player. You work with the teams and the individual athletes as a part of their teams. So you go, you observe their game, you see what is not working out over there. Mainly the issue is to perform best. If an athlete is physically fit and they have been doing everything fine and their performance level is at 99, then to make it 100%, a psychologist come into a role. That 1%, the last element of their performance, is a sports psychologist working with them.
Next question is, what was your experience with Indian hockey team?
um it was I can't define it as just an experience of working as a psychologist over there, but I was a newbie also, like coming into the field after having a theoretical knowledge when it comes to the practical implications and all. So it was quite a diversified and learning experience for me also as a psychologist to be working with a team. Being an amateur, I would say, like new into the field, and that we do not have many of those who can guide us around how to work as a sports psychologist, or places or people we can look up to for internship, or refining us with our skills and all. So it was quite a diversified experience for me to work with a team,
Hmm.
because I went to work over there with the notion of those clinical psychologist ka setup ka. So I have this thing in my mind when I will start working with the team. Okay, I have to work on their imagery training or breathing techniques, exercise, how to deal with their anxiety or motivation. But when you look at the practical aspect, the things are very difficult when you work with teams and all, because you got such a diversified culture at one place. And apart from that, the athletes which we get at the national camps have no amount of knowledge about psychology. They do not know what psychology is, why it is important, and why there is a psychologist who need to work with them. So it's like, even before you start working as a psychologist with them, I have to understand and build a good rapport with the athletes. So my hockey skills, since I was a hockey athlete too myself, helped me up to understand that part, and building the rapport with the athletes and all. Plus that, then figuring it out that my athletes do not understand psychology, and my highly developed western psychological theories won't work with them. And then I have to understand that first I have to educate them what psychology is, and post that I have to start working with the psychological factors which are actually hindering their performance, optimum performance level. So I have to figure it out with them, have to do counseling session with them post after figuring all these things out, and then work with it. So it was quite a rich and learning experience. But I would say if that only helped me because I was keen to learn and do something over there.
Yeah.
So it was a very, I would say, very enriching and good experience of working with the women's hockey over there. I as a psychologist grown a lot with them.
Yeah, agree. All right. So, could you tell us what are the different kind of issues you've dealt with?
Okay, different kind of issues are, one is motivation. See, when you have failures and setbacks, so I would share like this thing. When so there are almost 37 to 40 athletes in a national camp, and in a team they'll select at max somewhere around 20 athletes. 16 is a 18 part of the team, and apart from that they always keep 2 to 3 extra athletes as a substitute in case if they have athletes getting injured during the tournament, and also they need a replacement in the team also. So accordingly they have a selection. So sometimes it's a big thing for few athletes. Specifically when I joined the team, I was working with them during their Rio Olympic preparation time. The team qualified for the Olympic for the first time, and everyone wants to make an effort to be part of the team, to the first women's hockey team. It was difficult for athletes to get out of that setback that they were not able to be part of the team to get selected for the some specific tournaments like Asian Cup, World Championship, or Rio Olympic Games and all. And then you have to deal with their setbacks, help them out to come up out of those things and work on the aspects which they have been told by the coach. Another aspect was the language barrier the coaching staff and the athletes have. So the team has the foreign coaches who can communicate only in English, and we have athletes who do not understand English at all. So I would say, as a psychologist, it was also became a part of my job that I have to make sure that athletes understand what is communicated to them. So we have 2 to 3 athletes and situations like where the coach want to explain why the one person is not selected in the team. She was a newcomer. She was kept into the senior squad for gaining experience, and this person who she's competing against, the other athletes are very experienced and senior athletes, and they have more opportunity to participate in this particular event. So accordingly it was, but it took almost about 20 minutes to explain this simple line to her, that she is kept in the senior squad for gaining experience, and other person is better than her, and she also know that thing. So communication barrier is one of the thing I worked with. Then their rehabilitation program, when the athletes are injured and they are into their rehabilitation program, and then it take time. Some of them have the knee surgery and all because of the kind of injuries they have, and that took almost 6 to 8 months for them to recover and get back to the form, and then work on their body so that when they come back they are able to perform at the same level for the as the rest of their teammates are doing. So that process is a bit lengthy and it is exhausting the athlete, because the person is sitting out and they have to watch others plays and they are missing that opportunity. The others are whenever they win the event, they are losing the money also. The prize money is distributed those who win. So that matters a lot to them also, that we are part of a competition where our team is winning, and we want to have that medal also in our around our neck also, that we won the silver medal or gold medal in Asian Games or something. So that was also the anxiety was not that of an issue, but some players have some anxiety issues also, specifically the new athletes who are coming to the national camp for the first time, or those who are very going for their first tournament and all. So apart from that, there not have been much issues like that.
Should a sports psychologist have in order to like thrive in this particular field?
Okay. Apart from the skills which you learn through your internship program as a psychologist, what grab as many extra skills you can, because you have to work in a team setting, even in an individual event also. So you have to understand the team environment. So some little bit of your organizational psychology could help you in gaining that information and knowledge, which can help you to understand the team environment and how the things are functioning in a team setting, and how the individual performances are over there. Then what are the assessments over there which you can use in the field of sports which are specific to it. And apart from that, these days it's not very common over here, but in western countries they have been doing a lots and lots of research on cultural diversity in sports. So if you want to function as a sports psychologist, specifically with a team like India, you must try to have a good cultural diversified knowledge of the cultural setting of your athletes. It will help you to bond with them, to understand them. And yeah, I used this kind of things to build my rapport with the athletes in the beginning. So we have few athletes from the northeastern part of the country, and we have the athletes from Orissa, one or two from Tamil Nadu, and then Punjab and Haryana. So you know that athletes start bonding on the basis of the common factors which they find within the group, and they want to be more with the people who are there, sharing these cultural bonds and all. So sometimes there might be few athletes who feel left out of the group. They won't show it to you. It's not there. It's under the cover. It's hidden, but you have to observe these things. So for that you need a diversified cultural knowledge also. So to gel up with these northeastern athletes, I know that I have few friends from that part of our country. So I know they watch Korean dramas a lot. So that became my key to get my icebreaker for those athletes, and they were so happy when I started discussing about these few Korean dramas with them. Okay, have you seen this? So they were actually got lighted up, because after when we were discussing about and trying to break the ice with the other athletes, and I was mingling up, then they were very quiet. They were very quiet that okay, we have been talking to the athletes of Haryana, Punjab, what kind of singer you like, what kind of food they like and all. But mostly they feel like no one wants to know about their background story and all. So when I said, okay, I learned this one word from my friend from Manipur, that bomb, pataka is called bambula in Manipuri. So they laughed and they were happy. Okay, she knows something from our area also. So it helped me to break that ice, and till the end, the time which I worked with them, they used to communicate a lot with me. I mean, I that worked quite well for me.
Right. And the Korean language sort of also reminds me that you've had some experience with the language. You used to
Yeah. I was very fond of learning these foreign languages. So in college, I have Chinese and Japanese, and then when I came to Delhi, there was a Korean culture center next to my house. So for extra classes and extra knowledge of that thing, I went there. There only I made these northeastern friends. And I got to know about their culture, okay, what kind of food they like and have. So it helped me at some point also. So knowledge is not a waste. Whatever you can, when you meet more people, you understand more about the people also. So you keep an open-minded setting of yourself so that you can gel up with variety of people. So it helped me a lot also. So that Korean language I learned, it actually helped me there. And I remember when I went to my with the shotgun shooting team for the Junior World Cup in Russia. So I was able to communicate with the one of the sports psychologists who was working with the Japanese team, and he introduced me to the Japanese people, and he kept on saying to everyone that she is going to steal my job. She can speak their language, but I cannot. So, and then these few Koreans also got to know. So the next World Cup, which would have worked as a qualifier for the Tokyo 2020, was scheduled in Korea. So our coach wanted to know that how many qualifier seats are there, quota is there for the shooter. So I translated it to them, and post that the Korean team was a bit distracted that there is someone else beyond us who can understand our language and who is speaking also our language. So they also communicated well with me and gave me their visiting cards. Okay, when you come to Korea, you can communicate with us and you can meet us. So it helped me to, in many ways, also to bond with the variety of people on the international tours and all.
Yeah.
And in fact, in one of the case when this translator who was associated with our team as a volunteer, I went with her to get a Russian SIM card, and suddenly there were few Korean team members were also there from the shotgun shooting team, and they cannot speak English. So it became a situation that I was translating from Korean to English. The translator was translating from English to Russian, and to the person the Russian guy, and the Russians are very stiff face. They do not mingle so well with the other, or maybe their face expressions are not very visible. But even after seeing this whole situation, the guy himself also started laughing.
Yeah.
So I think from that point I started catching, making sure that okay, one or two word in any language would be very helpful. Even I used to this technique to work with these new members of the junior hockey team was going for their tournament to Spain, and I think 80% member of the team were new players. They have been to the national camp for the first time, and they have been selected in the national team for the first time. So there was pretty much chance that they might mess up their game because of the culture shock experience. So before their traveling time, we made sure that we have sessions to get them familiarize how the cultural setting would be there in abroad, by making them watch some movies in those native language, good movies. The Indians who have been $1 million arm, the two guys who have been selected by the USA baseball team and have been to a foreign culture, how they have been reacting to it, working on it. And my sister was learning Spanish, so I asked her to make some quick notes. So to build the confidence of the athletes, what I do is I told them that you speak a tourist language. You don't need to have a perfect grammar for English or Spanish. Just the word which you need is clean my room, I want food, or left direction, right direction. That's all. There are these few things you are going to need. So I gave them some handouts in Spanish, which they can use. So they tried to use it, and it was a good experience. So we would have been able to prevent it to some extent, the culture shock experience, to affect their performances and all.
So clearly, it has actually gone beyond just the role of psychologists.
Yeah, it was always, from the time I started working with the team, it was always beyond the psychology. Psychology was not directly in the picture for most of the time.